So, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but how do you manage expectations for yourself? And this kind of goes along like with your example of like getting physically fit. Like you kind of had this expectation like 3 months or come on, let's get this done. So how do you manage your expectations in a way that are, like you're doing enough, you're not doing enough?
It's healthy.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, where do your expectations come from?
Where do my expectations come from? Oh, like a lot of it comes from what I think I should be able to do.
Okay. And
I
where does
should.
that come from? What is that based off of?
Oh, we're digging. Okay. Um, I think there's definitely like some comparison in there.
Okay.
Like in here, like, okay, well, where are other people? Like I have to like gauge it against something or
Mm-hmm.
so that probably plays into it.
Okay.
But at the same time, like I feel like I'm realistic enough to know that we don't have to be like killing ourselves in order to like do what needs to be done to reach our goals.
Right. So give me an example of an expectation you feel that you've had in the past that hurt you.
Um, an expectation that hurt me.
Or
And
you
I
felt
think
like
it,
was in a negative way where it's like too much expectation or, anything like that.
yeah, and that's been kind of the hard balance. So it's like, okay, I have this expectation. So like if it's a fitness goal or
Mm-hmm.
something or like a nutrition goal, it's like, okay, like this is kind of the way that I feel like is going to be best to reach my goal. These are no's, these are like like food or something. But then it's like, okay, well, I can have a little bit, but then it's like, okay, well, where's the actual line? You
Yeah.
know?
So
Things
here's a
like
great
that.
here's a great thought for you. So my trainer gave me the 80-20 rule,
Mm-hmm.
right? When it comes to food. 80% of the time, be spot on. Allow for 20% cheat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can eat whatever you want 20% of the time, but track it.
Okay.
And so that's what he told me. And it's been awesome. Sunday dinners with family, I eat the treats every time. I have no remorse. I thoroughly enjoy them.
20%.
Yeah, because I know the 80% time I am spot on. So I'm totally okay. Hitting that 20%, right?
Okay.
So that plays a big part in it. But then also expectations, like I feel like you were saying, a lot of times our expectations, they come from internally and they're not based on anything. Like there's no lack of a better term, there's no science behind it.
Uh-huh.
I should this because of this. Okay. Explain that to me. Well, I just think I should be there. Okay. Explain that to me. Well, I don't know. So where'd you get that think I should be there from? We just put these unrealistic expectations on ourselves based off nothing. So that's why finding a mentor and someone that's been there is so important. Because then we're not putting these false expectations like I did in the first place. Right? I
Yeah.
lost 20 pounds. I had no six pack. I was pissed.
All that work.
All that work, I have no six pack. I had a flat stomach, but no six pack. My expectation was if I lose 20 pounds, I'll get a six pack. So even though I was grateful I lost 20 pounds, I didn't have a six pack. Why not? It was my expectation. I hit my goal, but it wasn't based off any science.
Interesting.
So I
Okay.
needed to find somebody that knew how to get a six pack.
Uh-huh.
He set my expectations. And when he set my expectations, I no longer was in my own head. And I no longer connected my success or worth or ability to my own expectations, because my own expectations were false.
Mm-hmm.
And so finding an external person or mentor that can give you the expectations will really relieve you of that burden. And that was
Okay.
the key for me, because I'm the same way as you, and I think most people are the same. It's like we put all these just like heavy expectations on our shoulders, and I need to be this, I need to do this better. It's just, and it's to a certain point we can't even walk forward anymore.
Yeah. Kind of like what Mateo,
Yeah,
Matai? he was talking about
Hmm.
that heavy burden, and I totally resonate with that. Like it's times we like focus so much on all of those things.
Yeah. And so just think to yourself, the next time you have an expectation, think to yourself, what is this expectation based off of? Is it science? Is it proven results? Or is it based off of my own internal, I think I should be here because of this?
Hmm.
Because if it's
Okay.
that, chances are you're being too hard on yourself and it's inaccurate.
Okay. But
Unless
there's
you,
definitely a place for like having those expectations, right? Because
for
it gives us something to strive for, something to stand for.
well, again, but have the expectation in the process. Don't have the expectation in accomplishing the goal.
Okay.
Because I mean, that's the same reason why it's like attainable, specific. I mean, it's so hard that it's like, what is an expectation? Like, I want to be a billionaire in 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
how I can't. If I put that kind of expectation on my shoulders, I'm gonna like crush myself,
Okay.
right? And so instead of thinking I'm gonna be a billionaire in 2 years, why not think, what can I start doing right now that would set me up on the path to become a billionaire whenever that could happen?
And that's you're building that base, right?
Yeah,
So like you
yeah.
find out what those things are, and then you expect yourself to do those things
Yeah,
because
yeah,
those are
and
safe.
that's healthy. Expectations to follow through is healthy,
Uh-huh.
but putting these outlandish expectations like, I should be this right now. I'm 26 years old. I should be graduated. I should have figured life out. Brock, you're 30 years old. You should be married right now. You should be blah, have 3 kids. All of these things, we just put these expectations on ourselves. Based off
Yeah.
what?
Based off what?
There's no basis behind it. We're just like just pile driving ourselves into the ground,
Yeah.
And so I,
Mhm.
we need to give ourselves a little break sometimes, right? And just say, look, I'll be honest with myself. I've lived my life to this point to the best I think I could have so far. I have no regrets. I've followed all my dreams and goals so far,
Mhm.
and I feel great. Do I wish I could have been married by now? Sure, but I'm not going to have that expectation on myself. I'm going to
Sure.
say, hey, Brock, live in a way that when you have the chance to meet someone that would work out with, she'll be
Mhm.
interested in you.
Like basing it all on things that you can
Yeah.
control.
I can't control the expectation, the outcome. I can control my expectation of, hey, Brock, work on yourself. Get better every single day.
Mhm.
Just improve a little bit, right?
Okay.
That's a great expectation. An expectation you should be married by 31, right? Because it's just
Yeah.
like, who knows when it's going to happen? That
Right.
expectation is based off of nothing. It's based off
Mhm.
of a hope in my heart that it'll happen. And what happens when 31 comes around and it doesn't happen?
Then you because of that
I'm
tie.
you're
Yeah.
tying that to, man, God didn't hear my prayers, right?
Mm. We put all these
I might
conditions.
not have enough faith.
Yeah.
I might not be believing hard enough.
What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, what am I doing wrong? Is it me? Blah, 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 right? We're so hard on ourselves because we're managing ourselves against these crazy expectations. So
Yeah.
just focus on what we can control, and that is to be better every single day, improve a little bit every single day, and let the expectation happen how it may happen.
Love that.